I'm Josephine from Mom's Twin Guide. If you're getting ready to travel by plane with your twins, it's normal to feel anxious, maybe a little scared. If you're getting ready to travel with twins, it is kind of scary. You are outnumbered by 2 little babies, or 2 toddlers, or 2 kids. And it's a lot of work. And you know that, and it can be a little scary. So to help you with that, I put together a few tips that I'd like to share about traveling. I traveled a lot with my twins from about 4 months until about 2.5 when the pandemic started. I've traveled by plane, train, automobile, and I've learned some tips along the way. So I'd like to share a few if this is your first time, or maybe you didn't have the best time before and you'd like some tips to learn how to make it go more smoothly. So today we're going to focus on traveling by airplane. Now, if you live in the United States, I highly recommend Southwest Airlines. It just makes it a whole lot easier to not have to try to figure out all the nooks and crannies of what is considered a carry-on, what you have to pay extra for, all the hidden fees. I don't really understand all the other airlines, to be honest. I also don't have time to read through everything to figure all those things out. So Southwest just makes that easy. You know your price, you know what you're able to get on to the airplane. So like, you know what type of carry-ons you're able to take with you, and you know you have 2 free checked items with your ticket purchase. That just makes it a whole lot easier. When flying with twins, there is a lot you're going to have to pack to be prepared. Some things you'll want to consider are, can you do laundry where you are going? If you're visiting a family member, that's easy. They have a wash machine, most likely. So if you're going for more than a week, you don't need to bring a whole month's worth of clothing. That's crazy. Even if you have to stop at a laundromat, that's better than trying to take your whole wardrobe with you. Another thing to consider is, can you buy diapers and wipes when you get to where you're going? Because twins go through a lot of diapers and wipes. And you don't want to pack an entire suitcase full of those things. 1, it's heavy. 2, it's extra stuff you have to carry once you're at the airport. And 3, that's a lot. So, see, if you could go to a Walmart or any store that has diapers and wipes when you get where you're going, keep that in mind when you're packing. Another thing to think about is if you will need bottles and formula, or if you'll need to have a way to store breast milk. Those things take up space too. Now, what I recommend as far as your suitcase, instead of doing different suitcases for each person, getting one of these big guys, the international sized suitcase. I might do another video to show you how I pack the international suitcase. But packing my things with my 2 twins' things all in one suitcase was a lifesaver. Because the first time we traveled by air, we had a caravan of little suitcases and the twins, and we looked like a circus, and it was not good. That is not the way to travel. Try to simplify it. You want to keep in mind that you want to think hands-free, because you're going to have to do a lot of things with your hands while you're at the airport. So less bulk is going to be more for you. Now, another thing to think about when you're at the airport is keep your tickets and your license or ID in an easy place where you can get it. Maybe a coat pocket if you're wearing a coat, in your purse, somewhere easy that you could get to. If you are traveling with another adult, maybe your husband or your partner, or any other adult, see if they'll bring an international size suitcase also. Because then, if they're staying in the same room as you or same place, then you can have your things and the twins all in one suitcase, and then they can take some of the extra things, like if you need extra bottles or things like that, they can put that with their stuff. Now, for your carry-on, again, you're going to want to think less is more, and you're going to want to think hands-free. So, I suggest that you consider using a regular school-sized backpack as your diaper bag. This is my backpack from college. Pink is not my favorite color, but this was a hand-me-down, so I got it. And you can see it. I'm using little pink paper clips because my zippers all fell off, except for these two. You have a diaper bag. Easy. Alright, now some things you want to keep in your diaper bag when you're flying. You want to have more diapers than you think you will need during that time. So, in the front pocket, I have, if I were going on like a 1.5 hour flight, I would pack plenty of diapers. And then I have a second row over here. Plenty of diapers. I would pack a full thing of wipes. And I don't have my actual changing pad because my husband has the kids right now out of the house. So I just have this to show diaper pad. And then if you have A&D or anything like that, you want to keep the small tube in here. I do not have any gallon-sized Ziploc bags right now, so I can't show you this. But one easy thing to do is have a gallon Ziploc bag with this, 2 diapers, and your tube of diaper ointment. So everything you need for one changing, and you keep that in the bag. So every time you change their diapers, you put 2 more diapers in there. That way, when you get to the bathroom to change their diapers, you're not fumbling around like crazy trying to find everything while trying to keep a baby on the table, and you don't want any of that. Traveling is stressful enough, so just in a gallon Ziploc bag, put everything you need for one diaper change and put it right on top here, and you're ready to go. And again, refill the 2 diapers into the Ziploc bag every time you change the diapers. So that will cut down on stress. Another thing to keep is little Kleenex, because there will be snot, there will be boogers, there will probably be crying. Well, you'll see. I don't know. You'll see. It's their ears will hurt and they'll cry and then they'll have boogers. So just be prepared with some Kleenex. So that's my front pocket. In the back, now this is important. I don't have it in here because I don't have gallon Ziploc bags. But in a gallon Ziploc bag, you will want to keep a very minimal change of clothes for yourself. So like if you have exercise pants and a t-shirt, You will want that in a Ziploc bag in the very bottom. Now I'll tell you why. Because from experience, my kids don't throw up. But when we're traveling, they throw up on me. So, very important. Hopefully your kids don't do that, but it's good to be prepared. And the kids are right on top of you, sitting on your lap or right next to you for the entire plane trip. There's a good chance you might get something on you. So extra pair of clothes, and put that one in the very, very, very bottom of this pouch. It's so deep down there. Put it all the way in the bottom. Make sure it's lightweight clothing, because this is going to get heavy if you do jeans or something like that. Alright, then if your babies are still little, you will want 3 changes of clothing. And I would put them each in their own Ziploc bag. Because then if they make a mess on their clothes, you could take the dirty clothes off, grab one pouch, put the clean clothes on and the dirty clothes into the pouch, because that's going to have to travel in here, and it's nasty. So, 3 outfits, each in their own Ziploc bags, and then put those on top. That's the extra clothing you'll need for your carry-on diaper bag. And then, as far as entertaining the kids, the biggest thing you could do is talk to them. Talk to them about the airplane, make it exciting, point out the window, see if they see the cars down below. Takeoff and landing can be really scary for kids. They don't know what's going on, and all of a sudden this giant thing that they're sitting on is going whoosh, making lots of noise, and then takes off and they feel like they're falling. Talk to them. What I usually do is I talk to them and say, alright guys, the plane's starting to take off. We've got to run to help it go fast so it can fly. And then we run in our seats, and you know, the kids are moving their feet and moving their arms in their seat or on my lap, and we go run and jump, and then it's not as scary. So just do a little game like that. That will help a lot. And then talk to them about what they're seeing out the window as you're flying. You could tell them about the rivers and all those things. Awesome time for them to learn about a flight, about the world below them, about the planet Earth. Awesome time to teach them about that. Now, if that doesn't work, you need to be prepared, because you don't want to be that parent in the back of the plane with the kids crying and kicking people's seats. You don't want to be that person. So, do not take your entire toy box in your carry-on. You will get a backache that hurts like crazy your entire vacation. You don't want that. So, less is more. What you want is a few small books. Small. Very lightweight. Easy. This one's a little heavy, but I chose this one because it has the lift flaps so they can stay entertained a little longer. But you want thin little books. There are books that are so tiny, they're like this big. Those are great too. I just couldn't find them, so I don't have them in the bag today. But they have little tiny books that you could do, especially if your babies are really little. They could just like try to turn those pages. They're little board books, so those are fun for little kids. And they're fun for toddlers and preschoolers too. Another thing, oops, where did the strings go? These are very light. They're basically just cardboard. And you can make some of these yourself. Just cardboard. I mean, if you want to do a picture on there, you can put a picture on there and then just punch holes. And it's just a shoelace. This is good for preschoolers and toddlers who are starting to thread. And they could work on this for a long time. I mean, they're probably not going to do it perfect. They'll probably be all over the place. But that will keep them entertained, and it's very lightweight. Very lightweight. Another thing that helps is stickers. Stickers and a piece of paper will keep them entertained for a long time usually. So you might have to help by like bending it so that the sticker comes off like that so they can grab it. Or if they're old enough, you don't have to help them, but those will keep them entertained. And those, you could get those at the Dollar Tree, at Walmart. They're pretty cheap. So you could find them cheap. There are stickers that are expensive, and I don't buy those. Alright. Little papers with some crayons. They can draw on those on the fold-down table on the airplane, the tray. These ones, we were going somewhere for Thanksgiving, so we made little hand turkeys. Oh, let's see if you see that. Little hand turkeys. And then I wrote how old they were. And then we gave those to people, to like my parents and aunts and uncles. I had the kids give them to them as gifts. So that was kind of cute. Pretty easy. We just cut out their hands beforehand, before the trip. These are great. You probably don't know what that is. These are little finger puppets. My mom gave them to me. I think she got them from a craft show, but you could probably find them from Etsy. These have saved me a lot from crying babies on airplanes. They're so simple, they're so light, and the kids loved them. So when they started getting fussy, I could just hand them one, and they could, you know, they could cuddle with their little Winnie the Pooh. And if that didn't work, I could put it on my fingers and talk to them. And that saved the day. So simple little things like that. Kids love faces, kids love characters, kids love make-believe, kids love staying busy. So if you can keep them busy on the plane, they'll be fine. And then the only other thing I have in here as far as games is feeding. I just have cut up straws in here, but usually I bring Cheerios. We just didn't have Cheerios. My husband's taking the kids grocery shopping right now. So, Cheerios are good because then they can eat them. They can make the bracelet and then eat it, and that keeps everyone happy. So, yeah, in your carry-on, you want to keep it simple, keep it light, but be prepared. If your kids are using sippy cups, you can take your sippy cup on the plane. You just have to have it empty when you go through security. So put a sippy cup here and a sippy cup here and just have them empty. Go through security, and then you can either buy a drink or you can find a drinking fountain and fill it up. That way your child has something to drink while on the plane, and they don't have to wait forever for the little person to come through giving the drinks. You have the drink for takeoff, and for landing, which is important because drinking helps the ears with the popping. It helps your ears adjust to the pressure by drinking and swallowing and moving your jaw around. So on takeoff, give them a snack, give them a drink, and run with them. Help the plane get to speed and then jump and fly. Help them with that. Landing, same thing. Tell them you're about to land. We're going to help the plane glide in. Hopefully they're asleep at that point, but if not, give them their snack, give them their drink, and talk to them about what's happening. Because when the wheels hit the runway, that's a freak out moment. That is, if you're not talking to them and letting them know what's going to happen and preparing them for that, if they're awake for landing, they're going to cry. They're going to be scared. So talk to them about that. If they're awake, don't wake them up to do that. If they're asleep, let them sleep. But if they're awake, talk them through that. Make it a game. See if they can run as fast as the plane when it touches the ground. So make it fun, talk them through it, and you should be good. Don't forget to pack snacks. For you, and also for the twins. Now, if you want, you can bring those big containers where they could just reach in, but I find those to be bulky and just something you don't really need. So I usually do Ziploc bags for their stacks while we're traveling. That way, once they're done with the snack, it squishes down and it's easy to store in here without taking up too much space. And then you could just refill it for your trip back. Keep it easy, nothing messy. Cheerios are great, animal crackers, anything like that, maybe cheese crackers, whatever their favorite snack is, I try to do that. And then one other thing I'd like to mention is if you know you're going to be traveling with your twins on an airplane, you can turn that into a learning exercise by checking out some books about airplanes and air travel before you take your trip. Check your local library to see what type of books they have about airplanes. If your children are young, just keep it simple and fun. Just talk about airplanes and maybe a little book about like where airplanes sleep at night. And then if they're older, like preschool, kindergarten age, you can start introducing more in-depth information about air travel. So before our trip, we found a book about the invention of airplanes, and we read about that, and it was really cool. My kids really liked that. They learned about one of the books we checked out was about women who were involved in inventing airplanes, and that was really cool for my daughter. And then just different types of airplanes, things like that. So that's something to think about if you want to introduce that as you're getting ready for your trip. So you could do it like a week or two in advance, and that'll get them excited about traveling on an airplane. So it might be easier once the day comes and they get on the plane with you. You'll do great. Just take some steps to prepare before your flight and think hands-free and think light, and you'll do good. All right, have a good day.